Okay, Google, stop the music, please. What up, fam? Welcome to Living For You, the channel. I am your favorite cousin, your favorite uncle, your favorite brother, your favorite father, your best friend's best friend. It's me, Dr. Larry Smith. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are y'all doing today? If how you guys look is any indication of how you guys are doing A-OK, excellent, wonderful, fine, because you look great. I just have to say it. You guys look great. Welcome, welcome. Have a seat, have a seat, have a seat. We've got a good thing planned out for you guys today. We're going to get into some really good discussion. And you know, it's here as usual, as we normally do, 2 times a week on Mondays and on Thursdays. We come to this table together and have ourselves an excellent discussion on a variety of topics, from everything from politics, popular culture, all the way to even personal coaching right from me, Master Life Coach, Dr. Larry. So, you know, you guys are getting great advice and information and help and tools, and I'm here just enjoying this and learning as well from doing this. So welcome, have a seat, have a seat. Those of you who are new, welcome to the family. You are now in this family, so that means this is for you too, so welcome. Y'all know I don't ask too much, and I always ask typically the same thing. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you're not a subscriber. Click the notification bell if you are a subscriber and you haven't hit the notification bell, or you're a new subscriber and you haven't hit the notification bell. Be sure to like the videos, comment on the videos, leave suggestions, ask questions, a whole lot of stuff. I am here. I'm a resource, a tool. I will do my best so we can work it out together. And hey, your suggestion might be something so good that it winds up right here at the table for us to have the conversation. If you want to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook, both at Dr. Larry Smith. You should see that somewhere on the screen. And whatever else. Also, if you want to email me directly, say if you want to sign up for coaching, I have free 30-minute session. I also have free tools and things like the Positive Me, the Positive Me program that would be very beneficial to you. You guys can go out and get that and utilize that, and it's free. Those things are free. So hit me up if you want to talk directly, Dr. Larry at liveforyoucoaching.com. And any other things you may want to know is at www.liveforyoucoaching.com. All right, so now that all that is out of the way, welcome again, y'all. Today I want to talk about the importance of self-love, self-worth, self-value. You'd be surprised, or maybe you wouldn't be surprised, but you might be surprised at how many people walk around this planet and have zero self-love for themselves. Yeah, it's that many people. And if it's that many people walking around here who have no self-love for themselves, it is that many people putting out energy into the universe that is not going to be positive for nobody they encounter, and especially not for themselves. So self-love, self-worth, self-value is a tremendous, 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 tremendous asset to the life of any person. I can speak about this from personal experience because for many years of my life, I lacked self-love. It wasn't until I was about 24, 25 when I really start to reevaluate the self-love that I had for myself. I walked the planet unconsciously, not really living a life of intention. I walked the planet seeing myself not in the highest form. I would compare myself to other people. More immediately, I would compare myself to my siblings. I have 4 siblings, and 3 of my siblings I grew up with. And they were always outgoing, outspoken, being able to be assertive and put themselves in spaces and get to know people and had lots of friends. And I was more of the introverted one. You know, I had my own little clique, but I wasn't the one who was going to always go on the stage and speak to thousands of people, or wanted to. I did, but I was always nervous about it. I was not the one that wanted to sing in public and do all of these things and join all these organizations and play sports, but my siblings were. And so many times I would look at myself in comparison to them and think, I'm part of this family. They all inherited this from my parents, because both of my parents were just like that, outgoing. And I was an anomaly. I was different. I was not one to be the same way. And so I had this low self-esteem about that. And it didn't help that I had been abused and was being abused emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually from religious teachings. And so all of those things that were in my life just worsened my self-image and my self-love. And so because of that, I was attracting into my life people who were like that. People who either had an exorbitant amount of self-love to the fact of where it was conceit, and that in their light I was being dimmed. Even by some of them, they were putting me down, they were misusing me, they were mistreating me. And then I would either get someone on the other spectrum who was worse off than I was, who really only continued to pull me to gravitate towards their pull of low self-worth and low self-love. And so because of that, like I said, I attracted the bad energy because of my self-love. And it didn't help. Now, fortunately for me, because I was introverted, because I was kind of shy, because I kept a lot of my feelings on the inside, the majority of my feelings I kept on the inside, I wasn't lashing out on people. There's people who don't have self-love, and you know it because their way of demonstrating that is that they lash out at other people all the time. They're argumentative, they're sarcastic, they're rude, they are inconsiderate of other people, and that's showing that their worth is low. So sometimes people, and many times actually, people project their low self-love and self-worth on other people. I was one who internalized it. I did more damage to myself than to anybody else with my self-love, my low self-love. And so I know personally the damage, the residue, the problems that having a low self-worth can do to a person, can give a person. And I wouldn't go back there if you paid me $1 million to do it, because my self-love is worth more than anything I can ever accumulate. It's more than anything I can ever own, any title I can ever have. My self-love is important to me. And so having it changes one's life, and not having it changes one's life. And either way, it will impact the lives of those you encounter on a daily basis. So I think it is important at this point to discuss the difference between, well, first of all, let's talk about what self-love is. Let's go there. What is self-love? When I say to have self-love, what do I mean? What I mean is that you appreciate yourself to a level to where you will not take any disrespect from someone else. You'll not take disrespect from yourself. You'll always see yourself in a way where you're worthy. When you walk in a room, you're important, just as important as anybody else there. You are competent, you are confident, you are honest, and you are willing to take the steps needed to get to the next level of life. If you have high self-love, you want the best for yourself. You expect the best for yourself, and you know that you're the best you can be at your present moment. That's what I mean when I would say self-love. All of that stuff. In simple terms, you love you beyond anyone else's ability to love you. That is what self-love is. That you love you beyond anyone else's ability to love you. Right? And when you have that, it shows. People see it in how you walk. People see it in how you talk, act, live, love. It manifests itself very clearly in our day-to-day interactions. Now, I want to make a distinction between self-love and conceit. Those are two different things. When a person is arrogant, when a person is conceited, when a person is a narcissist, when it's all about them, that's beyond what we're talking about when we say self-love. That means you're willing to do anything to put yourself first. That's selfish. That means that regardless of whatever circumstance is, you're going to come out on top. And you ensure that that happens. You see yourself as everything. Not number one, not number two, but you are everything. No one's on your level. And you treat people according to that logic, right? People are beneath you. You talk to people in any kind of way. You dismiss people. You talk about people. You put people down. All in the attempt to edify yourself. That's conceit. That's arrogance. That's also one of the biggest indicators that a person has a very low self-worth, self-love, self-esteem. It's a projection. It's overcompensating for the true love that a person has within themselves. So that's not what we're talking about when I say self-love. What I'm talking about, simply like I said before, is being able to love yourself more than anyone else could possibly love you. That doesn't mean you have to put somebody else beneath you. In fact, sometimes to show love for yourself, you have to do for others. Sometimes to show love for yourself, you have to put others on a pedestal. You have to be able to humbly acknowledge where you are, who you are, in relation to someone else. It doesn't require you putting someone else down or pulling someone else down for you to have self-worth. And so when we think about self-worth and we think about self-love, it's really something that everybody can have at the exact same time, because nobody's trying to diminish and demolish someone else's light. You're only concerned about your own light and making sure that you're giving the best you that you can be to the world. So you can't be rude and do that. So confidence is one thing, and self-love is one thing, but conceit, arrogance, and narcissism are two different, is a completely different thing. So that's the difference. Self-love radiates from the inside and is concerned with what the inside looks like. Arrogance is concerned about everyone and everything external. It's like I said, it is the very definition, it is the epitome of low self-love, self-worth, self-esteem. Now, when you know what it's like when you meet somebody who has a very low self-image of themselves. It's almost kind of difficult to be around them. Why? Because several things can occur. They're talking about everybody in the room, saying, oh, look what she has on. Look what he's doing. Look how he's talking. Look at what he looks like. And they're tearing them apart, just tearing them apart. That's one thing. Another thing is they come in and it's all about me. Look at me. I'm here. Notice me. Pay attention to me. Someone give me some attention. That's another thing that's transparent of somebody who doesn't have self-love. Another thing that you might see is they might be recluse. They might be by themselves. That was me. Quiet, shy, not communicating, not getting involved, not even in the room, mentally and emotionally, just there physically. So those are just three things you would see if you wanted to notice if somebody had a low self-love. What I do when I notice those things is I respond accordingly, right? So say if I see somebody who I'm sitting next to and all they're doing is picking apart people, look at them, look at what they got on, look at what they're doing, and just talking and picking apart people, I change the subject. I say, well, yeah, I like her shoes though. Even if I don't even like the shoes, or I say I like the shirt, even if I don't like the shirt, I change the conversation around to give them a compliment to kind of somehow kill off that low self-image, to teach that person inadvertently that you can show love for someone and you don't have to pick apart everything. Find something positive. Or if I see a person who is showy, those are the hardest ones for me to deal with, who are like trying to be known. Look at me, look at me, look at me. What I tend to do is I just don't really associate with those people. Those people are at a place to where they're feeding off the attention, and I just don't give the attention. I divert the attention. I don't feed into that energy. Because if I feed into that energy, I'm giving you exactly what you need to continue to be the low self-loving self that you are. So I have to be able to be the one to step away. So I don't feed into that energy. And then if I see somebody who's low self-love is them being a recluse and closing themselves in and they're not really showing themselves, I go and speak to them. I encourage them. I try to get to know them. I try to talk to them and find out what's going on with them. Because for me, that's important, to try to get them to see that you're valuable. You are valuable. You are worth every bit of being here, just as much as I am worth every bit of being here. So I encourage more self-love, not necessarily in an aggressive way, but just in a way to where I'm slowly getting them out of their shell and getting them comfortable with me to be able to open up and be themselves. And then when you realize it, when they realize it, their personality is great. They shouldn't be sitting in the corner by themselves reclusive because they don't have the self-love that they need. And so, there's ways of handling, and there's many other things that you can notice when there's somebody who lacks self-love. Relationship stuff and all kinds of things. And I'll do a video on relationships very soon. But I wanted to be very clear that self-love is important. Self-love means that you're able to take the stuff within you and use it externally. Bring it into the world, and you're attracting more of it. So the more self-love you emanate out, the more you get in. The more you emanate out, the more you get in. And it's kind of a recycled flow of energy, and you're making the world a brighter, better place. Right? We all want that. I think we all want a healthy world. There are very few people out there in the existence on the planet who legitimately can say, I want a terrible world. I want a harmful world. I want a bad world. I think most people want a peaceful, healthy, decent existence. Well, how do we go about doing that? We go about doing that from first starting from ourselves and developing a deep self-love, not conceit, not arrogance, not narcissism, but a deep, healthy self-love for ourselves, where we love ourselves more than anyone else could possibly love us. And when we do that, then we emanate that stuff out and we radiate it and we attract it and we radiate it. So that's it. That's pretty much all I wanted to get on here today and talk about was what is self-love. I wanted to kind of tell my story on how I had to get to this place. This wasn't something I was born into. This was something I had to come up in myself. I took countless hours of therapy, coaching, different things myself to help me get through some of the trauma I experienced in my life. And through all of that work that I went through, I also worked within myself to develop a love for myself that was healthy and that I was able to be here to talk to you so that I can share it with the world. That the best love you can have is self-love. And you cannot love someone else unless you're loving on yourself. Like I said, I know that's cliche, but that is a fact. That is true. Self-love is the best love. And so that's pretty much it. Loving yourself in a healthy way, not conceited love, not arrogant love, but healthy self-love, and then noticing that lack of self-love in someone else and spreading your self-love to them. That's it. So keep loving yourself, then start loving other people, and let's change this planet, black men. And guess what? It's okay for black men to love each other. We can love each other. We can upbuild each other. But first we got to love ourselves. And when we love ourselves, there will be countless things that you will no longer see amongst black men when each and every one of us develop a healthy, conscious, intentional self-love in ourselves. I will see you in the next video.